This is the FM Gold channel of All India Radio. In the program Countrywide, tonight we bring you an interview with Dr. Mahesh Sharma, Union Minister of State for Civil Aviation. The interviewer is S. Rangabhashyam, Senior Journalist. The Indian civil aviation industry is on a high growth trajectory, albeit with minor hiccups. The industry has ushered in a new way of expansion driven by low-cost carriers, modern airports, foreign direct investments in domestic airlines, cutting-edge information technology, and growing emphasis on no-frill airports and regional connectivity. India has the potential to become the third largest aviation market by 2020 and the largest by 2030. There is large untapped potential for growth due to the fact that access to aviation is still a dream for nearly 99% of the population. To discuss this issue and much more, we have with us Union Minister of State for Civil Aviation, Dr. Mahesh Sharma.
Dr. Sharma, welcome to the program. It's been more than 9 months since the new government took over. What is your assessment of the Indian civil aviation sector? What are the big challenges?
See, I think civil aviation as an industry, if we talk of, people misinterpret this ministry. Whenever we as a minister go, they say that probably we are a ministry means Air India. We are not here for any aviation. Of course, Air India is our national carrier. It's a matter of pride for us to work for Air India. But that's one component of that. And when we talk of civil aviation, we talk of Airport Authority, we talk of DGCA, we talk of Bureau of Civil Aviation, we talk of Pawan Hans, and of course our MROs and other divisions. There is a lot of potential in this industry. At present, India's civil aviation or say air traffic is at 9th rank in world.
That's true.
We propose that rather it's an anticipation of the agencies that we will be number 3 by 2020. So you can very well understand that what is the immense potential of this department as a whole, as a ministry, and we understand this concern about this. We are working hard to address issues related to our whole ministry in all the departments. First of all, we had appointed our permanent officers in all places except 1 or 2, and out of which our Airport Authority department, which earns about a revenue of around 2,800 crores per year. Pawan Hans has been in losses, but this time Pawan Hans has shown profits for the first. It's a profit of about 40 crores or so. Other DGCA, we are working hard that DGCA should also be a transparent body. There are certain issues pending with DGCA. We have made it transparent and online. All the facilities and all services we propose, e-governance system has been introduced in the DGCA department also. So this is how we are addressing all those issues. With Air India, whenever we take a decision in the wider interest of civil aviation industry.
Not for any one particular company.
Not for any particular. And every time people have been talking, why not to privatize this? Why not to do this? Now the question is privatization the solution for everything? If privatization would have been the solution, then Kingfisher would not have faced the news. SpiceJet would not have seen the day. So I think we are working hard on this issue to address issues of Air India also.
Yeah.
This time we will be around some 1,500 crores plus in our balance sheet part. So it will be a bit better than previous.
Mr. Minister, the hub and spoke concept of air connectivity, connecting tier 2 and tier 3 cities with one main center, that's been spoken about for quite some time now. Is the ministry also, looking in that direction and of having a number of hub and spokes across the country so that, from smaller towns, tier 2, tier 3 towns, they come to a main metro and from there they get a connectivity?
See, per se, I have 3 ministries with me, Culture, Tourism and Civil Aviation. And I think this connectivity, that is the strength of the industry, the tourism industry, which earns a revenue of 1,07,000 crores per annum with foreign tourist arrival. And when our share is only 0.64% of the international tourists, even if we make it to 1% or so, you can imagine what tremendous amount of foreign exchange will be earning. At present, we are earning about 6.88% of the GDP is being earned through our tourism industry, with almost about 12.36% of the employment, direct or indirect. So we understand the importance of connectivity. We have labeled this through Tourism Ministry as E2E tourism, end-to-end tourism. You call it as hub and spoke model. Well, the day we achieve it, we have around 60 airstrips lying which are not used. So it's that we are working hard to give this connectivity to grade 2 and grade cities, and I think we'll succeed in that.
Let's talk about the 5/20 rule, that's been talked about for quite some time. The industry wants a review of that. 5 years for an airline and 20 aircrafts in the fleet. Do you plan to review it?
See, it is under revision. It is under review. And we as a ministry are discussing it. Some people have raised this issue whether it should be reviewed. We are reviewing it, but after all, it will be a joint decision of the cabinet. Because this decision was implemented through cabinet, so it will not be a ministerial decision, it will be a cabinet decision.
As of now, there is this rule of, not having an airport within 150 kilometers of an airport. But don't you think, bigger cities, especially, in foreign countries, one city has 3-4 airports. We can also have probably Greater Noida, or Noida can have one airport plus the international and the domestic one.
You are speaking from my side?
I'm putting a question to you.
People blame that I have been speaking for an airport in my constituency favor. But my big question goes to them. What you have said, you have spoken in my language. Delhi and nearby NCR areas with a population of 5 to 6 crores, can an airport serve that? When a New York with 72 lakh population can have large and 3 small airports.
Same with London.
London with again 72 lakhs population. So I think, can we afford to have one airport? If there is a limit that we'll have another airport after when 6 crore limit crosses. Question is, when the 6 crore people reaches there, where we will be? What will be the connecting route to take the 6 crore people to that airport? And if at all we have to offload and decongest Delhi from all angles. So the airport has to be in Gurgaon, airport has to be in Noida, can be in Ghaziabad, nearby area only. It cannot be at Gorakhpur. So we have to have an airport and we have to plan it today so that we don't face the problem after 5 years or 10 years or so.
That's right. ATF is one major issue. The cost of ATF, especially for the Indian aviation industry, is really high. State governments levy, sales tax very differently. Do you plan to rationalize it? Do you plan to talk to the state governments to have one ATF rate across the country?
See, with fixed wings, 40% of the cost of any air industry is the ATF cost, which is a big cost. And with this variation from 4% to almost 20-25%, I don't appreciate it. But it being a state subject, and even they have been made it out for the reasons out of that GST formula also. We are requested in a last aviation where all the secretaries and ministers of governments, state governments and UTs have acted. We have requested that in case we can rationalize it, then I think that is in the wider interest of the aviation industry. But it's again a state subject, so we cannot comment on.
Dr. Sharma, let's talk about the pricing issue. Pricing in this one particular sector is really opaque. And the price increases as the departure time nears, which is not there in other modes of transport. For example, railways or buses. Either you have a ticket or you don't have it. The price doesn't change. Why is that in the aviation you have, flexible rates and going up to even 40,000 per ticket? Do you plan to curb on it?
In principle, as an individual, I'm against it. This is a sort of gambling sort of thing. Maybe at the end of the day, a person can afford a 30,000, 40,000 ticket, but a common man, suppose his father dies, he's in emergency to see his ailing mother, it pinches. I propose that a restriction for a level, suppose 5 times, 3 times, 4 times, can be done, but it cannot be unlimited. In principle, but again, because there are certain international bindings and this same procedure is being followed internationally also. So we have to look from that angle. But in principle, I feel that some sort of coordination and regulator should be there.
Let's talk about the other 2 big airports in the country, Chennai and Kolkata. Is there a proposal for their privatization as well? Airport Authority and the employees are up against it.
Yes. The proposal for these 4 airports for privatization is there. Definitely it is there under consideration. And representations from the employees has come, but we'll look into the wider interest of it.
But what would you say with the privatization experience of Delhi or Mumbai, for that matter, even Bangalore, Hyderabad airports? Don't you think, Airport Authority itself can do the work of modernizing an airport, expanding it? Why give it to private hands?
See, in principle, I accept it. See, privatizing everything means you are running from the challenges. But we have to see from case-to-case basis. It is not possible, and rather neither we are doing. Suppose we privatize, then who is going to take the social care of the structuring. Nobody is going to make their flights to northeast states, to Himalayan states, to Chhattisgarh. Where
Air India has that social obligation and flies to all these places which are non-remunerative. Let's also talk about this another school of thought as far as airports are concerned. Instead of having, luxurious, swanky and at times, costly airports, why not have functional airports which have all the modern facilities but which are not too high on that glamour quotient?
Well, we can think of this economy model also.
Because experts say that, it would be 1/4 or 1/5 the cost of that kind of a airport.
In principle, I agree when we have to give connectivity to Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities. In principle, I agree. But we are now we are exposed not to the domestic market of airports. We are exposed to Singapore airport and Dubai airport and all those things. So when we go there, our national domestic tourist, even when we go there, we compare that, this has been, it was looking like Singapore airport, what was beauty, then this is not. So we have to watch. Keep a balance between the two.
Let's talk about low-cost airlines model. It came up with a big bang in 2004 with Air Deccan, but later on somehow it fizzled out, and even the low-cost airlines which we have now, they are kind of hybrid airlines. Do you plan to, bring low-cost traveling in a big way, like a boom in telecom with, very affordable handsets and mobile charges?
See, it's a competitive market and an open market. This decision has to be taken by the carriers and airlines people, that whether they want to bring with low-cost areas. But from government side, there is no such initiative at present pending before us.
Let's talk about Pawan Hans. We all understand that its true potential has never been harnessed. Now with your regime in, do you want to give Pawan Hans a kind of a revival?
We want to, when we talked of E2E end-to-end tourism, we talked that our Prime Minister has especially stressed on northeast states and Himalayan states, where connectivity through routine airports is not possible. Okay. We propose it to connect to the helicopter service.
Let's also talk about DGCA. DGCA has come in for, sharp criticism from different quarters. Do you plan to revamp the entire organization, and especially with safety in mind?
Yes. We are working hard for safety, transparency at DGCA level, and some officer change has been there, and we are expecting some changes to occur.
And Air India, we have always been saying that, as you said, it has this social obligation of flying to non-remunerative sectors and routes. But despite that, the number of employees which the organization has is probably on the higher side. Is there any proposal to rationalize the staff structure?
Well, it's at the time we take situation. But at present, there is nothing such issue. Of course, if it is in the wider interest, we have to see our inflow of the funds also. And definitely, we have set a group of officers. How can we cut down the costs of maintenance? It's a situation depending on time to time.
Dr. Sharma, thank you so much for joining us.
You were listening to an interview with Dr. Mahesh Sharma, Union Minister of State for Civil Aviation. The interviewer was S. Rangabhashyam, Senior Journalist. It came to you in the program Countrywide, produced and presented by the News Services Division of All India Radio. This program is also available on our website, newsonair.nic.in. You may email your opinion about this program at airnsdtalks@gmail.com.